We be live. We're back again.
Woo! Theists beware. We are back. So, yeah, I don't know. Start crying or shaking in your boots. I don't know. Do people actually do that? Do people actually shake in their boots? Or
I was thinking
you've
their
heard
boots
that
would
term,
shake.
right? Like I'm
Yes.
shaking in my boot. Like, do people actually like a
Wouldn't their boots be shaking as well?
right? It would be like a whole,
Whole
Well,
thing.
we'll get to the bottom of that tonight and more, folks. So you're welcome.
All right. So we have people in the live chat. Noman is here.
Woo.
Atheist Damien. Damien.
Meh.
That's not
Damon.
Damon. Yeah. Oh, look who's here. Secular
Hey,
Rarity is here.
yeah, I know
Hey.
that guy.
D is saying, woo!
Woo.
Q&A is back with Secular Rarity. Yes. And Armin,
Yeah, Armin's still here. Like, don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Guys, we have a ton of questions. We have like around 20 questions. So yeah, that's great. We have a lot to go through. So for people who don't know, we're going to be answering Patreon questions. And if there's time at the end, I will post a link on the community tab for anybody who's a YouTube member to be able to come up and talk to us live on air. So if you would like to ask us your questions, there are 3 ways to do that. Either you can become a Patreon on Patreon for Atheist Republic. Link to our Patreon in the description. So what I do is I post a link to our stream like a day ahead, and you could post your questions as a comment under the post on Patreon, and I will ask those questions. 2, right now you could use super chats, and we'll answer super chats. And 3, you could become a YouTube member. As a YouTube member, you could come and talk to us live on air at the end of the show if there's time. So, oh look, Lilypad is here. We miss you.
Woo!
Diane is here. And then Pointless Fudge is here. Hi, hello, Master, and Disciple Rarity.
I like that. Honestly, that's great. It has a good ring to it. Like
yeah. Alex is here. Almost Human is here. Well, I'm sure you're completely human. Anne is here. Cool. All right, so since we have so many questions, let's just get right into them. Right?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Noman. No, by the way, Noman is also part of the cult now. Noman, nice. And yeah, so yeah.
Nice. It's growing. It's growing.
Yeah, it's great.
Good. And that's what you want from a cult, You just want to be taken seriously with the rest of them out there. So
yeah. All right, let's go to the Patreon questions. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. Hello, AR. Hello, Atheist Republic. I just came to India from the USA, and I see that Atheist Republic and Armin's Twitter account is banned here. What happened? Recap, please. I think this is an improvement, actually, because Twitter has decided, because I was banned in India, right? Not because I violated any of Twitter's community standards, but because I violated India's laws, right? So I think this is still ridiculous that I've been banned. So I've been banned for blasphemy, okay? But it used to be that I was banned from Twitter. I was like, even if you want to remove my account, why am I being removed completely? Why not just ban me in India?
Yeah.
And now that's what happened. I'm only banned in India, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
It's kind of cool. How many other people can walk around and say, hey, my Twitter account is officially banned in the entire country of India?
Yeah. But the fact that I'm not banned on Twitter anymore kind of confirms that I didn't violate any of the terms of service. I just violated blasphemy laws in India, right? So what happened was we had India's court a couple of years ago file complaints against us, the High Court of Delhi, and also we were actually even mentioned in the Supreme Court for my blasphemous comments and cartoons, our Atheist Republic's blasphemous drawings, art about Hindu gods and goddesses. And yeah, we have, guys, our case went all the way up to the Supreme Court of India. That's how seriously they took this.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And basically they told Twitter, you have to remove these accounts. And I was removed. I was not on Twitter, but now we're back on Twitter. Follow me at Armin Navabi or follow Atheist Republic at Atheist Republic, or just search for me on Twitter. Armin Navabi, it should show up. Search for Atheist Republic, it should show up. I'm becoming more active on Twitter now, so yeah, follow me there. But yeah, guys, I'm back on Twitter. I mean, it's bad that we're not available in India, but you could use a VPN.
That's true.
And you could use our link for NordVPN in the description. If you don't, I don't know who are you that doesn't have a VPN yet. I don't know anybody that doesn't have VPNs. But if you're one of those rare people that doesn't have a VPN, you could use the link to NordVPN in the description. I use NordVPN. And that way it's an affiliate link, so Atheist Republic gets something out of it. So if you're in India and you want access to our Twitter account and you don't have a VPN, use NordVPN. Link in the description.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Help your cybersecurity and help Atheist Republic. I mean, that's not bad.
We'll mostly get access to our Twitter account. That's
I mean, yeah. That's the only reason, for it. But I mean, there are other things I think VPNs are good for. But whatever. Yeah. I really like that idea of just being like, you should get a VPN so that you can access Atheist Republic Twitter when you're in India. Well, I'm not going to India. Well, whatever you are.
Oh, if you're not in India, you should go to India using a VPN so you could get better deals on Netflix and other things. Did you guys know that different services like Netflix and other online, they have different prices in different countries?
Oh yeah.
Like you, as an American, you get a higher price than if you were signing up for Netflix if you were in India. Yeah. So you should use a VPN to go to India or somewhere else to get like Netflix, so you get a cheaper price.
And radically different content. They offer like really, really different stuff. Which is man.
Yeah, I mean, you could hop into over India with your VPN to get a Netflix account, and then once you have the account, you could get off of it to get American, content.
Right, that's what you would,
or whatever. Yeah.
But use the link in the description so that Atheist Republic gets a kickback, and then you can check out Armin's Twitter in India.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the moral of this.
That's the most important thing. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question. What did you think of the Grammys recently and the Satanic? Okay. I think that's not correctly phrased.
I'm assuming that at the Grammys.
What do you think of the Grammys recently and the Satanic performance and the conservative meltdown? Okay. So I love it. I love it when the conservatives melt down. Not literally, but like, metaphorically. I don't want them to actually melt down.
Right.
Just
that would be
that would be too much. Yeah. But no, I like it. I like it because it's art. That's what art is supposed to do. Art is supposed to poke at people. Not always, but it's good to push whenever society has these sensitivities, art is supposed to go to those barriers and just try to move what is taboo and what is considered not normal. Art is supposed to push that. You know how you look at fashion shows and people are like, this is ridiculous. Nobody ever wears that, right? I mean, well, that's the point. That is the point. That is a point to test the limits and see what the human mind is capable of. And if more people get offended, the better. I mean, they don't have to watch it. Yeah.
I honestly did not watch the Grammys and do not know what this specific performance was. But if there was a Satan-themed performance at the Grammys, I'm happy with it. That's a win in my book. So
yeah. We just got a $200 super chat. Jesus Christ, Lilypad, unbelievable.
We honestly should just spend the rest of the show just thanking Lilypad, right?
Yes, guys, just spend the next 1 hour and 50 minutes. Just everybody, seriously. Thank you. Well, thank you. Lilypad, do you know that for a couple of months you were the difference between us being in the red and not being in the red? You have saved this channel, so thank you so much. Wow, that's insane. That's crazy. Yeah. Thank you so much. Amazing.
That's incredible.
You. Yeah. Lilypad is sending us a $200 super chat saying, guys, this is not, I see this like even streamers with 300,000, 500,000 subscribers, they don't get super chats like this. And we're like a much smaller channel and we're getting, we're yeah. Thank you.
That's incredible. Seriously,
Yeah.
y'all in the chat, spend the rest of the time thanking Lilypad.
Okay.
Unless of course she's just like, no, stop it, please shut up, because
No, okay, yeah. Lily Pad is saying, just because I've been busy traveling with my boyfriend and not giving you not giving to you the past few weeks. Aw, thank
that's
you.
awesome.
Well, I hope you had a great time with your boyfriend traveling. That's amazing. Oh. Thank you for the support. Okay, I'm still shocked. Okay, let's go to the next question. Is it true that girls were poisoned in Iran in an attempt to stop them from attending school? Yes, yes. Unfortunately, it's been very true here. This one came with an article.
Mm-hmm.
Let
And the
me actually
Iranian government has they've admitted that it's happened. They haven't, said that, oh yeah, we're doing this, but they've admitted that it definitely is occurring. So
yeah. So there's a couple of theories. I don't know if I should even mention all of them. Let's actually first tell you what happened. So the article says dozens of schoolgirls in Iran taken to hospital after poisoning. Suspected attacks on students in city east of Tehran is latest in spate of incidents over past 3 months. Yeah, and it's multiple schools over multiple cities. It's insane. And it seems to be a revenge. Okay, nothing has been confirmed, but schoolgirls have been one of the main, as you can see in this picture, active people in the revolution against the regime. They have been taking in hijab. They're coming in the streets and they're chanting against Khamenei, chanting against the regime. And there's not that much the regime can do about them, right? Because these are children, right? These are teenagers, and while they arrest a lot of adults and people who are adults who are in the streets, they shoot them, they blind them, they execute them, they torture them. You can't do that really with a 14-year-old girl. So these, teenage girls are going around and taking off their hijab and chanting against Khamenei, chanting against the regime, and they have become a source of a lot of they have caused a lot of attention. They have become one of the main weak points of the regime, because it just looks so inspiring for these brave girls to just go out and just so actively stand against a tyrant regime. You know what I mean? So you have, at one side, you have a dictator with all its military forces and everything, and on the other side you have schoolgirls. And people naturally all around the world just are so inspired by how brave these girls are. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of pro-regime people and a lot of religious people who, from the very beginning of the revolution of Iran, didn't even think that women should get educated, that women shouldn't go to school, women shouldn't even don't need education, because why would they even be working? They should be home attending to their husbands and making babies. And education also makes them age of marriage, delays the age of marriage. And a lot of these conservative Muslims want these girls to get married fast, like really fast, preferably during their teenage years. And a lot of, so attacking these schools, poisoning these girls has two purposes. One is revenge, and two, a stance against women's education in Iran. So there's that. So there's three theories. Are you still on? Am I still on?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
listening. Yeah, I know y'all are gonna go through it too on the news as well. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I thought like you were holding very still, so I thought you
oh
was like.
no, I froze on my own. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's three theories. One of them is the most ridiculous one, which is some pro-regime people are saying that this is the the anti-regime people doing it to make the regime look bad. That's
Right.
the conspiracy theory, right? The second theory is that the regime is allowing this to happen on purpose. And the third theory is that this is not the regime itself, but a group of very religious people who are not part of the regime, but they are still very religious and are just trying to take revenge of the secular revolution that is happening in Iran.
And
So there's a
I think it seems like there's a bit of both, right? I think like there's a bit of the government, the Iranian government, just like, you know, why work that hard to fix this problem, right? But also I think, you know, it could very much just be just a couple of random people just doing this and retaliating and so forth. But again, I mean, yeah, it doesn't currently feel like the Iranian government is particularly interested.
I mean, this seems like a major, hit to the regime's image. So you might think, why would the regime do this to itself? But another way to say that this might have something to do with the regime is to understand that the regime of Iran is not a monolith. Like this might not be approved by the entirety of the regime, but it might be approved by some people in the regime. The people who are saying this must be done by at least part of the regime is the fact that nobody's getting arrested. There's no information. A lot of things are being denied. Like if these were anti-regime people, like they would arrest people like this, like really fast, right? But at least two things are true. Either they're really bad at their job, which they seem to be a lot better at when it comes to arresting people who are anti-regime, or they have something to do with it, right? So those are the possibilities. But so we are gonna talk about this more in more detail on the news segment. So you're right. But we got a new member. Austin became a member. Hey, thank you, Austin. And we got a super chat as well. Where did the super chat go? Wait, I think I started it. There we go. Yusuf, thank you, Yusuf, for the $5 super chat. Yusuf saying, have you heard of Bare Naked Islam? If you don't know what it is, it's a vicious anti-Muslim organization with a website containing extreme bigotry. I have not heard of Bare Naked Islam.
Yeah.
I thought, if I had to guess, I thought it would be something people would refer to the Quranists. Bare Naked Islam. It's not even showing. Oh, it's a second. For some reason, it's a second. Can I even show this on the screen?
Okay. Well, I'll say, I was going to say, I'll read the tagline at the top of their website. It says, "It isn't Islamophobia when they really are trying to kill you." I feel like that's probably a bit of a broad brush, maybe a bit.
Yeah,
maybe a bit much.
Yeah, it's a bit much, guys. Like the problem with Islam is, I don't want to say it's not, but it's like less to do with. I'm not going to show this website on the screen because it might be like us showing anti-Muslim hate, and we might get flagged for it. But it seems like one of those movements that is actually bigoted. The problem is not with now I'm looking at the articles, and it seems like it's trying to fearmonger against Muslims and Arabs instead of actually talking about the problems with Islam. It does seem like a bigoted website, extremely bigoted website. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Yeah, they use a lot of terms like evil right next to the word Muslim. They don't maybe explicitly say that all Muslims are evil, but they seem to get fairly close.
It does seem pretty explicit, actually. Yeah,
there's a couple, there's one or two, but there's this thing here. They've said anti-American a couple of times. So I would say at first glance, I would be skeptical that these articles are not extremely biased, but
but also like these kinds of narrative are not that popular as much as before, because
Hmm.
Islamic terrorist attacks in the West have, died down a lot.
Yeah.
So the whole fear mongering about, and Muslims are pretty, in many countries, a lot of them at least are well integrated in
Hmm.
society. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so yeah, that kind of fear mongering against Muslims doesn't have as much of a um
Yeah, which is
there's
good.
not demand for it as much as before. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good, because now it's, I'm pretty sure it might like come back up again the next time an attack happens, but it makes it's pretty bad. And it's good to be able to separate us from all these crazy loonies when
Mm.
things are calmer. So for us to, it's good for Muslims, it's good for the society.
Mhm.
It's good for the society not to hate Muslims. Oh yeah, also another thing, if you hate Islam, the best the worst thing you could do is to hate on Muslims,
Mhm.
because, and I think like a lot of people do understand this, because if you demonize Muslims, you separate them, you isolate them,
Mhm.
from the rest of society, and that actually helps radicalize them. But
Yeah.
I have a suspicion that these websites or these kind of people want Muslims to be radicalized, because that's how they get their relevancy.
Oh, yeah, it's just like the Christian nationalists in the US. They want people to get upset and be all up in arms so that they can go, "Oh, look, you're persecuting me. Quit it." So, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, totally. It's a tactic used to you poke and you push and
yeah,
demonize a particular group until there actually is some backlash, which, even if the backlash is not justifiable in what the consequences are. It's just like, you were literally standing there with a hot rod poking this guy like 50 times. Like, of course he's gonna smack you at some point. Um, but yeah, I think you're totally right on that. They do it so that they
right.
can get people angry and then point back to it and go, look what they did. So,
So D is reminding everybody to like the stream. Thank you so
mm.
much, D. And Lilypad is also confirming. Yes, please, everybody watching, go ahead and like the thumbs up. Please do that. And Norman just got 5 memberships for 5 different
Oh,
people, including KV
no
got a
way.
membership, Havoc got a membership, Dry Hypnos got a membership. Sheepnath got a membership, and Beep Boop got a membership. So
Whoa,
thank you so much, Norman, for
nice.
getting people memberships. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And a reminder, but at the end of the show, we're going to bring members up to be able to ask their questions. So yeah, thank you
Mhm.
for that. All right, let's go. We have a lot of questions. I
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
answer faster. Uh, why do some people? So next patron question: why do some people think that Pakistan's stability is in India's best interest? Well, because it
Because
is.
it's in everybody's best interest.
Yeah,
But
include
yeah,
especially
especially
Pakistan's neighbors,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
especially.
So the the question follows: the terrorism in India was worse 10 years back when Pakistan was stable with a strong army, while today cross-border terrorism and skirmishes uh, have significantly reduced in India, while Pakistan is having multiple problems. Um, okay, but that's not because Pakistan is not yet a failed state. We're talking about a failed state situation,
Right.
right? Um, and just first of all, understand that correlation is not always causation. One, so that's important to always remember. You
Yeah.
can be like, it was, back then it was like this, we had that. Now that we have like this, it's like that. So this means that this cause. We're talking about Pakistan. When we're talking about instability in Pakistan, we're not talking about instability as you're seeing it right now. We're saying that what we're seeing right now could potentially lead to situations where we have an actual failed state, like a
Right.
state that um, you don't have a functioning, you don't have law and order, and
Right.
basically things just, and that is a situation where things get, actually, I potentially you could if you draw the graph on this stability, it could go down and then up. So if you like look at terrorist attacks on neighbors, if you have a lot of stability, then Pakistan's military might even assist terrorist attacks, which it does, right? So you have a high level of terrorist activities on its neighbors, mainly India. And then when you have instability, somewhat instability, you could have more of these problems be focused internally, because you have the terrorists are more involved in focusing on their own attacks on competitors or the military or the civil government. But so it goes down, attacks on neighbors will go down. But then we have a situation where things actually break apart and there is no control over what's happening. Then you can see that coming out and just attacks on Iran, attacks in Afghanistan, or the other way, actually, over there, but mainly also on India, right? You get a lot of terrorist groups over there that there's no oversight over them anymore. There's no control over them anymore. And these terrorist activities would come out, and they might want to make a name for themselves. And the best way to make a name for yourself is to attack India, because, and you could have hundreds of different terrorist groups coming out of Pakistan, new ones with the fall of Pakistan, that all of them are competing to be known and recruit people. And one of the best ways to recruit yourself is to do attacks that many radical Muslims would be celebrating. Like, oh, that was a beautiful job. I want to join you, right? So yeah, you're gonna get So that's what the fear is. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, sign off on pretty much all of that too. But I would also say something that you always do a really good job of trying to express to people, which is things like, it is always in the world's best interests for nations to not be failed states. It is always a good thing when China as a nation is doing well, not necessarily the CCP, right?
Mhm.
The Russian people, the Russian economy, not necessarily Vladimir Putin and the crap policies, right? And that's an important thing for us always to keep in mind, that it's like, yeah, we may disagree with a lot of the things that are going on in Pakistan. We may disagree with a lot of freaking policies. Like, of course, absolutely. It's very easy, in my opinion, to pick out the bad ones. But to say, hey, therefore, what we should hope for is that essentially the entire country goes into such levels of despair and poverty that people are murdering each other in the street. That's obviously bad for the whole world, guys. That's obviously not a good thing. So, but yeah.
Basically, it's pretty close to guaranteed that you're gonna have a bad time if you have a failed state as your neighbor.
Yeah.
You having a failed state as your neighbor, it's almost guaranteed to be not a good time. Not a good thing.
Especially if they have those nuclear warheads and whatnot. It's just
Yeah.
a little added little cherry, I guess. So.
Don't want that. You don't want that. Yeah. So Indians, wish the best for Pakistan.
Seriously. Seriously. Rub that Shiva Linga as much as you have to. So. You got it. It took you a second. It took you a second. I was like, come on, he's gotta get that.
Oh my god, Shiva needs to have its own Me Too movement. Seriously,
right.
Shiva is like, this was a bad idea to have my genitals in every household around. I never consented to be constantly. I've never consented to constantly being rubbed, guys. I've never consented to this.
Poor Shiva. Oh god.
Yeah. I set my dick on fire once now.
one time, and you guys gotta go.
Oh, Norman is saying best of luck, Pakistan. Oh,
there you go. Yeah. See.
Oh, Lilypad is saying, Armin, I love your new camera angle. Very flattering. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you do look good.
Thank you. All right, next Patreon question. How do you think Turkey, guys, it's not Turkey anymore, it's Turkey. How do you think Turkey's government response to earthquake will impact Erdogan's chances in elections? seems to be negative.
Mhm.
Was corruption and lack of building regulations the reason why death tolls were higher than expected? Well, that's what Turkish people seem to be suggesting. So, I mean,
I don't know that we've had a super full investigation just yet, for obvious reasons, right? There's a lot of
yeah.
cleanup and rescue that's still going on. So,
I mean, Erdogan just came out and apologized. So that was
that's good.
that's yeah, it's the apology is good, but it's also a major admission of guilt and
Yeah.
lack of response. There, people have been left alone for so long. Like I know people, like devastated people, have been like reports coming that I've been left in the cold. My family has died. I don't have anything, and I haven't seen a single official,
Yeah.
a government official, for I don't know how this many days.
Yeah.
So people are like, "What the hell?" And yeah, there seem to have been a lot of. It's not just that the building regulations have caused a lot of these buildings to fall. It's also that there were constant warnings about this that were not taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this could be very bad for. This could be. They tried to delay the elections because they just don't have the. They were arguing that, guys, we can't have an election at the middle of all this chaos. Some people are suggesting that maybe the reason why they wanted to delay the election was because people are so upset that Erdogan's, is not
Makes
going to
sense.
get. Erdogan's is like, we need to delay this or else I'm not going to get reelected.
Yeah.
But apparently they can't delay it, and they might even have it earlier now because the constitution or something only allows. I think that what I've
Specific
heard,
reasons or something. Yeah.
like
Okay.
war or something, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
earthquake is not one of them, so they
Yeah.
could not delay it.
Well,
So
these types of really big, natural disasters and stuff always have a shift when it comes to the elections in any country, and a lot of that has to do with, how much of the bad things that happened were actually consequences from the officials not doing things correctly or doing things purposefully poorly in the past. But one of the biggest things that matters is how the situation is handled, how the situation is dealt with, right? Because that's what everybody talks about. Everybody talks about how George W. Bush didn't do the right thing with Katrina, right? And that's what people will know. And so, yeah, if the government does a real crap job, like it seems like they're kind of already doing, then yeah, I think you probably will see a big shift. And personally, I'm in favor of that. I mean, I would like other people in power in Turkey. That would be very good for the world. So,
oh my god, a pro-Euro government in Turkey.
We can dream, Armin. Hang on, don't get too high in the sky, but like a successful revolution in Iran, a pro EU Turkey, like a non-Putin controlled Russia. Like what a one day these dreams. Ugh.
Yeah, a pro-Euro government would also lift the economy in Turkey enough, maybe, hopefully, for it to be able to help. A better economy might be one thing that we need to restoring people's lives in Turkey, right?
Yeah.
After the earthquake and stuff. By the way, I was like praying like this, and then I realized I need to pray like this.
That's it. That's Iblis.
Is that yeah, the devil? How do you is this prayer to God? Shouldn't the prayer to the devil be like?
I think you have to do it upside down. Like you have to hang from your ankles and then like.
No, I'm gonna make this a thing. I've never seen anybody do this. Like we should make this a thing, like prayer to the devil.
Oh, it's and like instead of kneeling and putting your forehead to the ground, you'd have to like constantly get up from a squatting position and like just do everything opposite. Just I like it. All right, we'll work on it. Colt, work on that.
Noman just gave us a super chat to thank you so much for the support, Noman. To ask you a specific question, Secular Rarity, what are you drinking?
This is water, and this is lemonade.
So, okay.
Yeah, I like lemonade, but also it's it's kind of sweet, and I just figured I didn't want to have a lot of sugar.
Is that real sugar or?
Oh, probably. It's one of those those like big like tubs of powder, and just kind of scooped it into this thing and then poured water and just shook it a little bit. So It's really not that interesting, but we've already taken like 2 minutes to explain it. So I just figured I'd give everybody the full picture. I really like lemonade. So.
Oh my god. Oh, D is asking a question. Thoughts on protests against Nigerian election results? So yeah,
Yeah.
the people are questioning the results of the recent election
Yeah.
in Nigeria. Have you heard of this?
I
Yeah.
just looked at this the other day very quickly, and there was a couple of different things that were interesting because Muhammadu Buhari, I think, was the guy that just got out, and the guy who won was, had very vocal support for him, and yeah, it's definitely interesting to see what some of the critics are saying. Nigeria often has elections that are close, from my memory, and there are oftentimes people that argue about the free and fair aspects of it. I think the last couple of elections, again, just from my memory off the top of my head, which I'm not saying, any great memory on that, but I think the last few times they have actually opened them up to international third party, like, vote watcher people, like the same organizations that run around everywhere else and do that. And they signed off on them as saying like, hey, these, seemingly were not rigged and stuff. But there have been some criticism that the guy who won, which unfortunately I just don't remember right now, it kind of has this entitled sense about himself. Like his campaign slogan was literally like, "It's my turn." So that's a
Yeah.
little
Okay.
interesting.
So Nigeria's ruling party candidate Bola Tinubu, is that how you say his name?
Oh
Has
yeah, I
won
would know. Just
has
kidding.
won yeah, has won the presidential elections with 15.2 million votes, while his main rival Atiku Abubakar of the PDP got 11.3 million votes. However, some opposition parties have rejected the results and staged protests in Abuja and other cities alleging widespread
Mhm.
rigging and violence. They have called for a new vote or a cancellation. But why are they saying that there was a rigging? Is it just because they didn't like the results?
I mean, again, I would say from my memory, not, definitely not an expert on this, folks. So please, look it up. But from my memory, this has been common accusations that have been leveled against the winner for years. And the
Mm.
last few times, again, Buhari, I believe, is the one who was the president and is now finishing up his term. But if I remember during his election, there was something very similar where people were like, "Bruh, like this isn't cool, this isn't fair." And then there were a couple of protests, and ultimately it seemed as if the elections were, met the mark, met the criteria. Like there's always some screwy stuff that goes on in any election anywhere. But the question is whether or not it is enough to actually amount to anything of substance, right? You're always in every single election cycle, no matter where you go, you're always going to find some, sweet old man who kind of didn't understand the requirements and voted twice, or wrote his name wrong or something, like that's always going to happen. But
Mm.
is there enough evidence in these particular elections to say that there was enough of that screwy stuff um, to actually be, effective? So, and again, on that personally, I haven't seen anything just yet either way exactly, other than hearing the allegations. So,
So the reasons here. So the some of the reasons are allegations of breaches of the Electoral Act and possible collusion by INEC to doctor the result in favor of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, claims
mhm.
of intimidation and violence against opposition supporters and electoral officials, accusations of manipulation of voter registration and card readers. Okay, so these are, and I also think I've heard somewhere that one other reason was that um, the polls and the election results were kind of different. Is that one of the reasons, if I remember correctly? I think.
Mm.
But I don't know if that's a good reason, because polls are hard to. It's hard to get good polls in Nigeria, right? So that's not a good reason. Yeah. Oh, also D is saying there was widespread non-compliance to voting regulations, results results not uploaded, and violence at voting venues. Yeah. This is kind of messy. It's really bad because Nigeria's instability is really bad for the entirety of Africa.
Oh yeah,
Nigeria has so much potential,
yeah,
and religious instability and political instability and radical groups are just not letting that potential unleash. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
yeah.
I just because I was continuing to look, and I found apparently literally all of 3 hours ago, the
Yep.
United States State Department released did a press statement on this, and they specifically say this competitive election represents a new period for Nigerian politics and democracy. Each of the top 3 candidates was the leading vote getter in 12 states, a remarkable first in Nigeria's modern political era. We understand many Nigerians and some of the parties have expressed frustration with shortcomings of the technical elements. We join other international observers in urging INEC to improve in the areas that need the most attention. But truly, at the end of the day, this was a nothing burger of a statement. They didn't really say much on whether they believe that the allegations have credible information or not. But yeah, I mean, I'm always a huge favor of opening up the elections for absolutely as much scrutiny and transparency as we can. And if these, especially like the things that Dee was just bringing up, if those are what's being said to have happened, yeah, that very much could have influenced the vote. So
Right.
hopefully there will be more information.
Okay. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Next patron question. What do you think of lab leak theory being true? How will Elon Musk's relationship with China be affected based on his opinions on lab leak theory? I mean, by the way, it depends what you mean by lab leak theory. Is it like accidental lab leak, or because I think the purposeful one
I think
is,
we can take the purposeful malicious one just off the table, honestly.
let's remove that. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Like I
Yeah.
think that's reasonable for us to say, like, okay, let's not even go down that route. Like,
Okay,
I guess
good.
that's possible, but like,
Yeah.
it's more
And
likely natural origin or accidental, I think.
accidental lab leak.
Right.
I haven't looked. It's been ages since I've been talking about the COVID and stuff. Is this how far are we? Like, have you been? What do you think? Was the lab leak theory? Is that true?
So I looked back into this a little bit more, and I'm of mixed minds in a couple of different ways, I think. Recently, the director of the FBI for the United States, Christopher Wray, came out and said that the FBI concluded that it, most likely was a lab leak. But then you look at that conclusion and they say based on moderate evidence. And then the other was the Department of Energy or something, the Department of Transportation. Like, it was a totally just random government department, in my opinion. But they also came to that same conclusion about the lab leak, but again, apparently in that conclusion specifically stated that it was on, like, what was it? It wasn't like super crap evidence. That wasn't what they said, but they basically said just kind of a guess. I don't really think that the FBI is somebody that I should give a crap about when they talk about medical conclusions that they have made, especially in another country, specifically considering that the FBI's jurisdiction is the national border for the United States. So that's not a very compelling expert, in my opinion, because they are not experts at all. They just genuinely do not have any understanding of it. Anthony Fauci himself was once quoted as saying that he hopes that there would have been more information and more transparency. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say that the CCP has not been forthcoming with stuff, and we're obviously trying to, hide information at the beginning, right? But yeah, I guess one of the things that always gets me is that it seems to be more people than I realized are really, really confused about how bacteria and viruses start to infect and kill humans. So every major virus and bacteria that I can think of that we don't like comes from animals. That's just what happens. Like syphilis, AIDS, strep throat, you guys, the freaking flu, like all of these things come from older animal bacteria and viruses that have mutated and jumped to humans. And so, I mean, I remember having a conversation with a buddy, back in early 2020, where he was like, but yeah, like, come on, Elliot, that's just silly, man. Like viruses really jumping from cows
Ebola.
and bats. And I literally just listed off every single virus that I could think of. And I was like, all of these come from animals. Like, we know this, we're positive about this, yeah, it seems that honestly there isn't concrete 100% either way, but it seems to be that the natural course is the default position. That's the one that makes the most. We assume that this brand new medical intervention doesn't work until we get the evidence that it does, right? And so that base assumption in this instance is that it probably came from animals, like that makes the most sense.
Even the lab-like theory could be compatible with came from animals. It could have come from animals and it leaked from the lab. Yeah,
True. But, absolutely true. But that adds an extra element onto it, right? That's adding another. That's not following with Occam's razor. The Occam's razor would tell us we don't need to multiply the entities. And if it's coming from nature anyway, and it's just jumping through these different animals, it makes more sense to go with that before.
You're right.
Until we get good evidence. And again, I'm not here to like freaking stand for the CCP, you guys, and be like, no, they've been great this whole time. Like, they've just been super dressed. No, they've done a crap job of trying to show that they truly don't have anything to hide, I think. But at the same time, it still honestly fits the pattern more so to say that this virus passed back and forth between a bunch of different animals and eventually got into this, open air market and stuff. But
yeah, so
still, we should look.
So let me just read this. The lab leak theory is a hypothesis that the COVID-19 virus originated from a laboratory accident in Wuhan, China, where researchers were studying coronaviruses. This theory is disputed by many scientists and experts who argue that the virus most likely jumped from animals to humans at a market in Wuhan. This is called the natural origin theory. There is no conclusive evidence for either theory so far, but some people have called for more investigation and transparency into the origins of COVID-19. The World Health Organization, or WHO, conducted a joint study with China in 2021 and concluded that the lab leak was extremely unlikely, but some countries have expressed concerns about the credibility and independence of the study. So now let's go to Elon Musk. Elon Musk has recently engaged with theories that COVID-19 leaked from a Chinese lab on Twitter. He replied to a tweet that shared a report by the U.S. Department of Energy that concluded that the virus likely emerged from a lab accident in China. He also liked another tweet that criticized China's response to the pandemic. That's weird. Elon is usually very,
Go ahead, say it. I thought what you were going to say is normally Elon is like really careful about the things that he tweets and stuff.
No. Elon, I wasn't going to say that at all. I was going to say he doesn't take an China stance because he has a lot of business in China. So I don't know why that's out of character for him. His action. So Elon's actions have drawn criticism and warning from Chinese state media, which accused him of biting the hands that feeds him. Oh, wow. China is the second largest market for Tesla and accounts for about 40% of its sales. The state-run newspaper Global Times said that Musk should respect China's efforts to contain the virus and not spread unverified rumors. Jesus, I wonder why he's doing that. This is going to really I mean, I don't know.
It'll be very interesting to see what the fallout is with it. I would also be very comfortable in saying honestly how Elon feels about this particular thing in the world. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me at all. Like whatever Elon comes to in his, nice little jammy jams at night, right before he goes to bed, and he just cuddles up and he goes, I think lab leak theory is correct. Like, I will never, my opinion will never be like swayed either way by that, like if he comes out tomorrow and is just like, I actually, guys, I think it's all natural origins. I think it's great, all natural origins. It's like, well, cool. But yeah, I mean, it is weird that he is doing something that he should know will affect his business dealings. He should have good awareness of that, but also he should have had good awareness of like the market with Twitter before buying it, before saying that he would buy it for such a high price.
Well, he claims that he has less financial incentives and more like saving the human race incentives about that. But anyways, let's move on.
Oh, okay.
Shit. All right, we got a $5 super chat by Alex. Thank you so much, Alex, for the support. Appreciate that. Alex is asking, how true was it that the church provided a bigger sense of community in post-World War II America? Is technology more to blame for that less sense of community?
Depends on what you're looking at.
I mean, there's not that really much competition for the church past World War II. Do you know what I mean? Like, people need community after World War II. There's devastation, and you have your options are the church and nothing. Right? So yeah, church is going to be a place where it provides bigger sense of community. Our issue, at least I as an atheist don't claim that church doesn't provide a sense of community. It obviously does. My argument, at least, is that we could do better than the church because we need better competition with the church. So at that time we didn't have much competition. We should make more. We have more right now, and we could do better.
Yeah, and if you're just asking like overall numbers, like back around that time, we definitely have polls showing that more individuals in the United States would say that their community is the church, right? Whereas today, like a recent poll that y'all have talked about on the news and stuff, and a bunch of atheists have talked about, it shows that pretty hard decline, right? So if that's what you're asking, well, yeah. If you're saying like bigger in the sense of like, was it like better? Did it like provide more for people and stuff? I would agree with what Armin just said, where it's like, no, I think it was still crap. And we can do better than that. And I would argue that we don't really have less sense of community necessarily. It just may be the case that our communities aren't as broad, right? Where you used to watch one of 3 primetime TV shows. Now you've got 1 million. And so you can go make a community all your own with 14 people that all get together to watch, Jeopardy, right? So I don't know that we've really lost a sense of community. It just maybe is different, which isn't bad.
Right. By the way, Lilypad is saying Elon has effed up crypto markets enough with his tweets for me to lose all respect for the elite overlord. Okay.
And that's coming from the CEO of hell, y'all.
That's coming from the CEO. I mean, who's Elon when we have the CEO of hell here? Yeah.
Suck it, Elon.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question. And this one comes with an article. Next patron question. What do you think of breakup fee in China? If you break up with a girl, you need to pay a fee. It will be higher if the girl is under 25, thin, light-skinned, and beautiful. What? Failure to pay affects your credit score.
I'd
Are
say
you serious?
be careful dating. That would be my first thing, is like be sure, yeah, be sure.
Wow. And the article's title, look at the title. Man gave $300,000 breakup fee to ex. She left it saying, not enough. Wow. I can't believe it. Is this real? Okay, let me read this.
That's a
I have
lot of money.
Yeah, and Norman has just gave us a super chat saying, "What the f is this
Woo.
news?" What the f is this news? I agree. Okay, let me actually read a little bit about this. A breakup fee is a form of compensation that some people in China demand for their ex-partners at the end of a long-term relationship. It is based on the idea that one party has invested more time, money, or emotion into the relationship and deserves to be reimbursed for their loss. The amount of the breakup fee may vary depending on factors such as age, appearance. Are you serious? Income, education, and duration of the relationship. There is no legal basis for breakup fees in China, but some people may resort to blackmailing or threatening their ex partners if they refuse to pay. Some may even use online platforms to expose their personal information or damage their credit score. However, some people may also agree to pay a breakup fee voluntarily as a way to ending the relationship peacefully or expressing gratitude. As for what but hold on, let me read this. Anyone who's been in a relationship knows. No, this one I don't want narrativization. Just tell me what's happening in the 300. So a man in China reportedly left his ex-girlfriend 2 million yuan in cash, nearly $300,000 as breakup fee. His former companion, though, left it all behind in a bar. Wow. Because she thought it was not enough. Chinese. She
I'll
left the
take it.
money in a bar?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll date the guy for a few
Oh, look,
minutes. Like,
how did the money survive? The police showed up. How did
blown
this?
away by all of this.
You just left $300,000 just like. Well, I mean, if it's not enough, wouldn't you take it and ask for
Ask
more
for more. Yeah,
rather
that
than
would have
just
been mine.
leaving it somewhere? I
Right.
don't understand. This is so
Right.
weird.
It's like, imagine somebody brings you like a, like a full pizza, right? And you're like, oh, that's not enough. So you smack it out of their hands and it hits the ground. And it's like, well, now you don't have anything to eat. Like, what did that accomplish?
Okay, I'm
Ugh.
actually impressed. Which I was gonna say, this seems like China going crazy. China's
Mhm.
law is going crazy, but apparently it's not, because this is not like in the law. This is just people
There's just people doing it.
people just doing it. And also now I'm actually impressed with China. You could leave $300,000 in a bar and just leave it there, and it will last long enough for the police to show up and check it out. Like
It's
it wouldn't just like
impressive.
it wouldn't just disappear like that. It's just like
Yeah.
a bag of cash, just like leave it there, and people are just not just gonna take it.
Yeah.
Maybe the credit score system works. No, I'm just kidding. No.
No, I think pretty much everybody probably understands where we're gonna come down on this, which is like, oh yeah, this is terrible. This is really bad in a lot of ways. You can get more if the woman is under 25, thin, light-skinned, and beautiful, meaning obviously if you're darker skinned, if you're a little bit older, if you're a little bit larger, if you're a little bit less unattractive to this person, like, you're gonna get less. Like, that's just really across the board effed up. Like, just seriously, like, gross and weird and uncomfortable. And yeah, I would say think about what you're gonna do if you're gonna date in China, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have great like dating advice or anything. I'm not a matchmaker, so.
So you're saying the suitcase reportedly belonged to a young IT professional. Wow, business must be good. He's a young IT
Yes, yeah.
who was seen who was seen in the bar the night before with two women, one of them reportedly his ex-girlfriend. According to the newspaper, bar workers, like, this is what I'm impressed by the bar workers.
Mm-hmm.
The bar workers saw the man
Mm-hmm.
leaving abruptly without the suitcase after the argument with the woman. Soon after, the woman too were seen exiting the bar without the suitcase. The man came back after a few hours to claim the suitcase. He revealed to cops that the cash was requested by his ex-girlfriend as a breakup fee. He added that the woman had asked for 10 million yuan and left the suitcase behind as the amount wasn't enough. The woman reportedly left a message saying she was leaving without the money, which is why the man came back to retrieve the sum.
So it said 2 million yuan was about 300,000 American. She was asking for
five times more.
So literally like $1.5 million, right?
Yeah.
That's what she was asking for. She was asking for $1.5 million to break up with her.
To break up.
That is wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Why would you need that much? Why would anybody need that much? Like, okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's very
Why is beauty such a factor?
Why is it all a factor? Why is any of it? Like,
I'm so beautiful, you have to pay me a higher fee to break up with me. I think maybe the arguments go something like this. Like, let's say, for example, you started dating when you were in your early 20s, and now you're in your 30s, and you're like, well, I lost the most beautiful parts of my life with you. I'm never going to be as wanted as I was when I was 20, and it's going to be harder for me to find a high valued man with high income when I'm in my 30s compared to when I was in my 20s. So that's why given that my potential, look at me, my potential was so high, and I wasted the best years of my life in you. That's why it makes it the price should be higher. I tell
you this, Armin. I tell you this, and I mean this coming from the heart, man. Okay, I think you would get at least 10 million yuan if somebody wanted to break up with you. You're worth it. You're worth it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Lily Pad is saying, I will never date a beautiful person again.
That's smart, honestly. Like, financially speaking, it's smart.
Yeah, Lily Pad is saying, Armin, you're assuming the beautiful person would be a young woman.
It seems to be more geared towards women.
Yeah, and also I'm just talking about the society's norms and what people usually assume. So yeah, don't guilt me into this. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, there we go. Thoughts on what is this?
Oh yeah, Yusuke Narita. That's what I'm going with. So
I'm gonna go with whatever you just said. Sounded better. Sounded better than what I was gonna say. Okay, that guy's proposal for a mass self-deletion of the elderly to deal with Japan's economic woes. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not even gonna make a joke about this. I do not approve.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. I think that's always a really good sign that your economic policy is just garbage, right? If like one of the bullet points, so you're like, okay, so we're gonna fix up the roads, we're gonna put more money into education, we're just gonna like get rid of this whole segment of society with like encourage self-deletion. It's like, whoa. There's a problem here in your economic policy, buddy. Like, yeah, I would say that obviously is a bad idea. I do like the glasses though. One's a circle and one's a square. Yeah, it's kind of.
Oh wow! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It looks good. And the
that's
jacket,
very unique. Very unique. Very unique.
Bad idea. Bad idea. But
good
decent fashion. Yeah. All right. So what do you say?
Wait, so let me just read this. So the guy Yusuk Nerita.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
Perfect.
okay, did I read that right? Okay, an assistant professor of Japanese descent at Yale University, Yusuk Nerita, has set in motion an online outrage after he suggested mass self deletion. Guys, I'm not going to read this because YouTube is very, very.
That's I
Um,
I really thought that was a bit of an exaggeration, Armin, but the quote is right there. I mean, the quote is right there from this person, where it is,
yeah, I thought they were exaggerating.
yeah,
The guys
no
quoted.
uncertain terms. Holy crap!
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Okay.
I
It say I feel like the only solution is pretty clear. In the end, isn't it mass self deletion and mass
seppuku.
seppuku? So, oh, is that the thing that you do with the sword?
Yeah.
Oh my
Sword
god,
in the
of the
tummy.
elderly. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is crazy.
Yeah, I would. I know it's a bold stance here. Real brave thing we're doing coming out against this, Armin. But yeah, I would argue this is not a good idea. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a Yale professor and all, and I'll be honest, I've never taught at Yale in economics or anything. But I'm yeah, I'm gonna stand firm on this one here.
But what I'm trying to understand what he was thinking. Like, did he not? Was he not aware enough to know that this is not going
Scroll
to?
down just a little bit more. There was a right under that tweet. So spoke to the New York Times this weekend and clarified that his remarks about the matter were taken out of context in 2021. However, the professor also mentioned that euthanasia could be made mandatory in the near future. So
I'm trying to understand this guy's. I'm just trying to understand, like, this guy is a professor and he doesn't understand this reaction that he's getting. I mean, look at his. I don't know. He looks like an evil villain, though, with the glasses and the purple.
well, and if you put that quote over his head, like, yeah, like all elderly people should self-delete. It's like, yeah, that's a bad thing, man. That's not a good. Yeah, that's an evil villain thing. That is exactly what.
Yes,
Gosh.
crazy. Okay, look at this quote by Irina saying, professor of economics at Yale University found a solution to the problem of aging in Japan. It was simple. No old people, no problem. There are two options to choose from: self-deletion or forced euthanasia at a certain age. This is what the future has in store for us. I don't think so. No, it's not the future. What are you talking about? This is just one guy. Don't exaggerate how big of a problem this is.
Yeah. And also, again, just a good idea, folks, to just keep tucked away in the back of the mind. If you're setting up a system of, a system of things to fix stuff, if you're suggesting mass self-deletion for a group of people, it's probably not good, right? Like, that's just a good red flag.
I actually have a hot take on this.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm
How
bracing.
racist of a country do you have to be to not choose the most obvious solution to your problem, which is
immigration.
you rather eliminate your elderly than just opening your country to immigration. That's how xenophobic Japan
That's
is.
good. Honestly,
like,
I didn't think about that angle. Yeah.
Should we let young people in to work in Japan? Nah, let's just kill old people.
Yeah.
By the way, it's a joke, you too. I'm not like, this is this guy. I'm not saying this. This is just the news. Let's just like instead. Yeah, I mean, this guy is an economic professor. He must know that the solution is to immigration. They're like, yeah, no, we're not going that. We're not doing that. We rather die. We just rather, execute grandma than allowing Filipinos to come into our work. I mean,
do you admire them for their committedness, or like, is that like? But my gosh, yeah, I hadn't thought it like that. But the moment you said it, I was just like, oh man, that's really interesting. Yeah. There is such an easier solution. It's like,
That's the most obvious solution, Japan.
yeah.
Just open your borders. Just open your
Yeah.
borders.
There's a lot of people in the United States and Western Europe that would be very, very happy to. I have a few friends. They're quite enamored with
Why?
Japanese culture.
No,
They would
why?
love to go to Japan.
Why United States? You could get a lot of amazing labor right next to you. Philippines.
Oh, sure.
And
Sure.
it would be so economically good for both countries.
Yes.
You know, the sea of people that would want to, and Philippines doesn't have people that have security problems. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, is crime rate going to go up? No, Filipinos are not going to cause that problem. They have a really amazing work culture, Filipinos, right? They don't have many security threats, and there is a sea of them wanting to go to Japan. Just let them come to Japan.
Right.
And they be Asian. They're not that far off. I mean, I know you're xenophobic enough to not let Pakistani in, but like Filipinos, I mean, they're not that, you know.
You're saying start close first
Yeah.
and expand from there. I get you. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. So we got a super chat by D saying secular thank you $20 super chat. Wow. D is being very generous today. Thank you so much. This is D does a lot of work for Atheist Republic, and instead of paying her, she donates to us. So we're very grateful, D. Thank you. D is saying Secular Rarity. Are you familiar with
Trey Crowder?
Trey Crowder from your state. Apparently you are. I am digging his liberal, redneck, and weekly skews.
He's a comedian who does a lot of political stuff, and yeah, that's what he goes by, is the liberal redneck. I think he's actually been interviewed on like Seth Andrews' podcast and maybe one other, but I'm blanking on it right now. But yeah, he's very funny. He does a tour with a couple of other people that are based out of the South in various places. And he does a lot of skewering of, Southern culture and Southern people and stuff. And, he'll do a lot of those jokes that are like, I don't want the government telling me what to do, keep your hands out of my business. But if you're not having sex right, the government better come in and put their hands in your so he points out a lot of that stuff, and he's very good. He's very funny. And yeah, he has his own podcast too. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, D, for the $20 super chat. We got another super chat, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy about this. look at this guy's username. I'm not gonna. I'm mad.
So
I'm mad.
Here's the question. Here really is the question. Can you pronounce that? Is because if you can't, then that adds an extra layer of silliness, in my opinion.
So I think you're okay. So the guy's username is Armin. Can't pronounce this. So thank you for selecting a username that is pronounceable for me.
Factual statement, actually.
Is my pronunciation really that bad? Okay,
no,
thank you.
No, it's
I appreciate you making it easy for me. Saying Armin, my name was in Chinese before. Don't take it personally. Okay, thank you. So I appreciate you changing it to specifically a name that makes it clear why you changed the name. But thank you. I was joking, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the 699 super chat. The question is, what do you think about Koreans against international student building mosques in their neighborhood? There is a video on YouTube. Whoa, wait, Koreans are against international student building mosques?
That's interesting.
In their neighborhood. Wow.
I have not heard about this.
I mean, South Koreans be xenophobic as well.
They really do. They really do. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, most of the world is kind of xenophobic
Yeah.
compared to West. It's amazing because Western Europe and North America gets accused of xenophobia,
Mhm.
but it's actually they're the least xenophobic countries. They just people are so aware there of xenophobia that it just gets highlighted more often. But
Yeah.
the rest
Yep.
of the planet is more xenophobic on
And those
average.
those those super xenophobic people are, um, they're really loud about it too, in Western
Yeah.
countries and stuff. But yeah, again, like you like you were talking about with Japan, it's like, yeah, they actually are. That's a pretty well known thing. Um, but yeah, Korea too. But this specifically is not something I have heard. Which, I'm a big fan of us. Well, so this is the thing, is like, I'm not a big fan of us building religious institutions just because I just, feel like we have better things, right? We should put our
Mhm.
time into things that are more beneficial. But like, specifically going out of your way to protest against, any one religious establishment over the other is wrong. That's where the issue comes in. So like, if Koreans are also super upset about like more Christian churches or Hindu temples or something, then it's like, well, at least they're consistent, but
I mean, you should be able to have mosques. You can't just
well,
stop.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't um, you can't fight an idea by not allowing people to practice the religion.
right.
Okay,
I would
that's
just
not.
argue between the two, right? Between
Yeah.
like a mosque or a church or a temple and say a
Yeah.
hospital, or a school or so. I'm always on that side of it, right? So,
Yeah, but I would be if somebody says like, "Oh yeah, we're stopping all of them," I
oh
would still
yeah,
be
that would be bad.
against that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
If you were
totally.
consistent, I would be like, "Yeah, I'm against our religion, but I don't think not letting people building buildings there that they could
Yeah.
pray in. I don't think that's the way to go against religion."
Probably
Yeah.
not the most effective method, but I mean,
Yeah.
people have
By the
different
way,
opinions.
one place that this xenophobia was highlighted, which I was kind of happy to see,
Mm.
was in Squid Game.
Oh,
Do you
I actually I
have you
haven't.
watched? Oh,
You've made me admit this now on
oh
camera, but I
shit.
haven't. I know, and I'm going to be ridiculed and shamed by everybody. But no, I'm
Yeah.
just teasing. No, but I haven't.
May
Haven't.
may I spoil it? May
Oh
I
yeah,
be
spoil it
too?
as
Okay.
much as you want. I don't care. But if
Mm,
anybody's watching right now and you really do care, we don't. So deal with it.
mm.
So go ahead, spoil it.
There's a Pakistani in the TV series, but
Mm.
it just because I knew that there is an it is xenophobic. It's like South Korea has xenophobic tendency,
Hmm.
but in Squid Game, I like to. It showed to me that the popular media is against that. You know what
That's
I
good.
mean?
That's good.
So because there was a Pakistani man there, I think his name was Ali,
Mm.
and one of the other characters in the show was telling him to go back or something, and I don't know exactly what it was, but in line of, oh, you must be here just leeching off of our economy or something like that. And the show was showing her as a bad, as that a bad thing. Like other people, the good people in the show were embracing him, and Ali, as a Pakistani guy, was seen as an underdog that was being wronged and a good person, and the lady that was saying that to her.
That's
So
good.
I was like, oh, that's pretty. That's not like,
Yeah.
pop culture in South Korea seems to try to be against xenophobia. So I was like, that's nice. I like
That's
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. And K-pop normally is fairly, um, you know,
I don't
fairly
know.
welcoming and stuff, as far as I know. I mean, I don't follow it that much, but just,
Yeah.
I get snippets every now and then. So, but
Yeah.
well, okay.
So yeah. Thank you again for the super chat.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's go through the questions again. Okay, should America lift their embargo in
Mm.
Cuba? In your opinions, what are the qualifications of an embargo worthy country? I think they should lift the embargo on Cuba. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. It's probably that time. I'm not sure that we can justify it anymore at this point. Um, Also, what are the specific qualifications of an embargo? Um, I'm not sure off the top of my head, like what they are currently, just actually in the law. I think there's some general broad strokes that make sense, right? Like when your government is just like actively killing its people on a consistent and mass, organized basis. That's probably up there, you know. But yeah, at this point, I think it was the right call years ago when Barack Obama at the time started normalizing relations. I do, and I think that we should continue to do that. Again, you've talked about this a bunch. The more countries are interdependent in terms of their economies and trade and stuff, the less likely they are to fight. And that's just seen across the board. So
yeah, and I don't know the countries that are. What are the qualifications of an embargo worthy country? I think it needs to be like really, really severe human rights violations,
yeah,
or you know, or a country that is threatening another country's border integrity. That is one of the things, or a country that is violating. No, I don't think violating trade agreements is worth it. Yeah, it has to be something massive like that, like
yeah,
very, very severe human rights violations,
right.
or harassing a neighbor or attacking like a country that is being involved in unjustified war or something like that.
And
Yeah, kind of like
I don't really think Cuba fits those qualifications anymore.
no, it doesn't.
So,
No, not at all. We got a super chat. I don't know how to. So thank you so much to GJ with the
mhm.
€6 super chat saying, Armin, please read and answer my preceding comment. I was unable to send this question as a super chat and get very tired of what I can say in super chats. Oh, where is the?
So
Do you see? Do
yeah,
you see
that's
the?
the thing. I look, GJ, and
Can
I
you
do
send
not
it?
see another comment from you other than this one. So if you post it again, Armin and I will definitely make sure that we are watching out for it and we will get it. But I do not
Yeah,
see another comment from you this entire stream. And I went back as far as I can in the live chat. So
yeah, me
literally
too.
back to the beginning of the show. It's still up here. So
So
it's
yeah.
Atheist Republic saying hello and me saying, woo, let's do this thing. So like,
Maybe the question has something in it that YouTube is censoring. Maybe like
yeah,
try to use code words if there's any sensitive things.
yeah.
Maybe yeah, people are saying maybe YouTube censored that the So it's not about the super chat that is not being allowed. It's just the
Just
comments
YouTube.
seem to be. It's like not either it's not allowing the comment or the super chat. So
Mhm.
maybe like put maybe don't use caps. Maybe
Yeah,
one thing that
maybe
yeah,
cap.
YouTube maybe because YouTube associates caps with spam, so maybe
Yeah,
don't use caps. See if that works. We'll keep an eye
yeah,
for
well,
it.
definitely.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Oh, I already read this one. Next patron question: if Mexican drug cartels started sneaking affordable insulin into America and it passes quality checks, would this be a good or bad thing in America? Would bans on the insulin trade be anti-capitalist? Well, I mean, no, it's not anti-capitalist. For capitalism to work, you need regulations. You need to
Hmm.
be able to do things in a. You need to have a framework for trade happening, right? And this would be a bad thing, in my opinion, because as much as I like people getting affordable insulin, I don't like drug cartels getting money, right? So
Yeah.
it might be good for Americans, but it would be bad for Mexico
Hmm.
because you're funding the major source of instability in Mexico. So I would say no, I am not in
And
favor of this.
only probably good for Americans in a short term capacity. We already actually have really good data, so I don't want to bum anybody out. But um, if you're eating avocados right now in the U.S.,
Oh,
there probably is some connection to various cartels, and we have really good data that over the last decade, a lot of the various cartels have shifted to bullying farmers into producing crops specifically for them. So, I mean, you'd end up getting kind of just a similar pattern and a problem. So, probably not a good idea. Um, I mean, I would be in favor of cheaper insulin and stuff. Although I do think a company just recently came out, like literally this morning or yesterday, and said something along the lines of they're capping their insulin at like, $35 a month or something. So they just recently something along those lines came out. So
Prometheus is saying, so you want money be only given to rich businesses? No, and
Yeah,
just
I don't think
just
either of
not
us said that, but
no, just not cartels,
yeah,
just not
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
drug empires. Yeah.
so let's put it this way: am I a fan of an organization where the person at the top has complete and total authority and like doesn't really give proper financial compensation to the people that are doing the work and stuff? Like, no, I'm actually not. Am I less of a fan of an organization where the person at the top can literally just in broad daylight murder the people at the bottom? Yes, I am actually less of a fan of that organization, surprise surprise, than I
Right.
am a really crappy business structure. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah.
By the way, Mitra is recommending to GJ to reword the question as well, because maybe if you send the exact same question, YouTube is going to be like, oh, this is obviously spam because you're sending the same question. Oh, the question came in. Guys,
Woo!
yes, we made it. We made it. See, this is, GJ, this might be the reason why YouTube might think this is spam, because you like capitalize things, and sometimes people think that, YouTube might think that this is an ad rather than a comment, right? So the question GJ is saying, do you know Spanish director's film The Phantom of Liberty? A lot of Christian religions symbols are literally thrown out the window, and it switches eating in private, which with oh my god, SHITTING together. Okay, no, I do not.
That's
I have not.
interesting.
The Phantom of
So
Liberty.
this it's an older movie. I hadn't heard of this, but I've heard of the director because he's done a bunch of different things that are pretty famous for being some of the first major things in film and whatnot. But I've never heard of this particular movie, but it does sound pretty interesting.
I don't like people taking a dump together. I don't know if I want to
You're a
watch
shy
that.
pooper. Is that what you're saying? You're a shy pooper. You need your private.
Why
No
would that be in a
judgment.
movie?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much they actually showed people doing it. I haven't seen it.
Is this the 1974 surrealist comedy film?
Mm-hmm.
Or no? Is that the one?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
assuming.
Or is it the other one? Is the spy thriller expansion for Cyberpunk 27? No, that's not it, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm guessing it's the other one.
Okay.
But
Let me look into it. See what this is. There, by Louis Buñuel, features a non-linear plot structure and various episodes. The Phantom of Liberty is a film by Louis Buñuel that was released in 1974. It is a surrealist comedy that does not follow a conventional plot, but rather consists of various episodes that are loosely connected by some characters and or themes. Some of the episodes include a sniper shooting at pedestrians, a dinner party where guests sit on toilets. I think that's what he's referring to. A
yep.
missing child who is found at home, and a poker game among monks. The film is considered one of Buñuel's masterpieces and has received critical acclaim for its satire, absurdity, and creativity. Okay. I have not seen that. Sounds interesting, especially from 1974. That seems like, and especially in Spain, because you're talking about a Catholic country and you're talking about a time that these things would be taboo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So
And I thought
yeah.
I thought I recognized this. I thought I recognized it, but I had to do a little search. But yeah, he did. This director, Luis Buñuel, whatever, did a film a very, very long time ago with like Salvador Dali, and it was like super weird. And there's like this scene where somebody like takes a razor blade and like cuts an eyeball or something. But yeah, he was an early director into stuff and did stuff for quite a while. But yeah, this is not something that's ever come across my radar. So thank you for giving me
Right.
stuff to do on a Friday.
GJ is saying, I posted two just in the last 10 minutes, please scan again. We did. Like, I'm seeing
Yeah, we
everything
just
you posted.
yeah.
Yeah. But GJ, look, like you're all capping your comments, and that might be the reason why YouTube is filtering it.
Yeah.
So that might be the reason. So
Yeah.
maybe try not using caps.
Yeah.
All cap. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Next question. What are your thoughts on a new, what is this?
Holocracy. This was that thing I was asking about at the beginning, but before we came on, where I was like, "Have you heard of this word?" You're like, "No," and I was like, "Oh my
Oh
god, it
yeah.
looks dense." Like,
What are your thoughts on a new holacracy? Sounds like a spell in, in Harry Potter. Holoc. Yeah.
Holocracy.
Holacracy. Yeah, that's a on a new holacracy management of a corporation versus traditional hierarchies. So what is this? I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Yeah, go look it up. It's very interesting. I seriously just like looking at this right before we came live, and I'm like, reading it for about 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is probably going to take more time to really go through and assess. But it does seem to be pretty interesting. It's a different, method for management and organizational, structures and so forth, and kind of how they decide things and whatnot. So just kind of a different way of looking at, running a business. Yeah.
Holacracy and traditional hierarchies are two different concepts of organizational structure and management. Holacracy is a system that distributes authority and decision makings among self-organizing teams or circles. Oh, like it's more a flat structure rather than like a pyramid structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
While traditional hierarchy is a system that centralizes authority and decision making at the top of a chain of command. I mean, just reading about it seems like some people would think that holacracy is good because there's less hierarchy, but I really think it depends on what you're trying to do, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the advantages of holacracy are that it promotes autonomy, agility, and purpose alignment among employees, while some of the disadvantages are that it can be complex, chaotic, and costly to implement. Some of the advantages of traditional hierarchy are that it provides clarity, stability, and accountability in an organization, while some of the disadvantages are that it can stifle innovation, collaboration, and motivation among employees. Okay, so that's what I mean, that seems pretty clear. I don't know
Yeah,
what else to say about it.
I'm not against the concept of us trying new alternative methods, right, for business management and stuff.
Right.
The question is it actually better, right? But I don't know. Honestly, this is a concept that I'm just coming across, and it looks like there are some early things that look kind of really positive, but as you continue on, I mean, one of the criticisms here is that for larger initiatives which require coordination across functions, it can be time consuming and divisive. And so, yeah, maybe for bigger things, it's not as good, but for smaller things, it's better. I mean,
Susanna is here. Susanna is saying, hi, Susie. Susanna is saying, holacracy is democracy, pero en español. Did I read it right? I don't know how to speak Spanish.
It means
Okay,
bud in
okay.
Spanish.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah, and pero with two R's.
Susie is just taking advantage of using this as an opportunity to tell people that she knows Spanish.
She's just showing off. It's cool.
Yeah,
we get it. We got it. Whatever.
Oh, GJ is saying about the movie, going back to the movie, saying, and people eat in private in a very small room. I mean, that seems like a movie that I'm going to get weirded out by. I don't know if I want to watch it. Yeah.
I would say that is better for me personally than pooping in a very small room. Not that I really need the space. I just get claustrophobic in that moment, I guess. Like, I don't stretch out or anything, but it's anyway.
Yeah, the movie is already stressing me out. I haven't even watched it. I'm stressed out. Okay, let's go to the next question. Will the Fox Will the Fox News following will the Fox News following finally see I don't know what this question is. Let me read this again. Will the Fox News following finally see the light, or do you think not even this can stop the crazy train? I don't know. Do
These
you understand?
Yeah.
Did I read this question right? Can you read
Yes,
it?
yes. It's just put Fox News following together as one concept. It's the people
Oh,
who follow Fox News.
Oh, okay. Let me read this again. Will the Fox News following maybe if you put a comma there, this would have been a lot easier to read. Will the Fox News following finally see the light, or do you think not even this can stop the crazy train? Okay, this seems like it came with an article.
Mhm.
Let me open the article. Sorry, I should have read this.
No, it's if I remember correctly, it's in reference to Rupert Murdoch in his deposition
Oh yeah.
recently admitting that basically all of the Fox News hoax actively did not agree with the
Yeah, I
Dominion
saw
stuff.
this.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
this. I saw this. I mean, I was surprised that he would admit this because it seems like him
No, he doesn't
admitting
care.
this.
No, he doesn't care. They've admitted
So,
in court before that Tucker Carlson is in no way,
well,
shape, or form. Tucker Carlson could not, quote, be believed as correct and truthful by any rational viewer. They've admitted that. They don't care. They don't give a
yeah.
crap. Like they'll say
So
all of this stuff.
the title is "Stunning Rupert Murdoch Deposition Leaves Fox News in a World of Trouble." Um. So they have media mogul's admission in Dominion Systems election case that he let cable network broadcast falsehoods stuns observers.
And the reason
So
that that it has stunned observers and the reason that Fox News
where's
is
the
in a
rest?
world of trouble is not related to the people watching, right? Not related to the viewers, but the fact that it is blatantly obvious now that they are at fault in this lawsuit with Dominion.
Wait,
Dominion,
well,
go ahead.
you go ahead.
Well, it's just that that's why he had this deposition was because they brought him in because Dominion Voting sued and said, you guys are making all these false claims that have really hurt our business and so forth. You've damaged us and blah, blah, blah. And he goes in there basically in front of lawyers and says, yeah, we did freaking lie repeatedly. Like repeatedly. Here's the proof that we lied repeatedly. So that's the stunning aspect. That's the world of trouble. But you're not going to see this broadcasts on Fox television shows, and you're not going to see any of those hosts take any responsibility for anything. Like
Okay,
Alex
so
Jones lost a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, and he came out the next freaking day and did the same thing, So,
but wouldn't him admitting this cause him more trouble?
so the trouble that it causes him is legally. The trouble that it
Mhm.
causes him is in the financial aspect because now he cannot make the claim we were genuinely trying to report the news because there are obvious emails and text messages between
Mhm.
various high-level people in this corporation who blatantly are saying, we know all of this is BS. We don't
Mhm.
care. Let's keep broadcasting.
Okay, so Susanna is saying that we need to provide more context. So let me read what the
Oh,
article
sorry.
reports. No, that's okay. The media mogul Rupert Murdoch gave the position, in the 1.6 billion defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News and its parent company, Fox Corp. In the deposition, which was filed in court, Murdoch acknowledged that Fox News's coverage of the 2020 US presidential election was not based on factual reporting. Dominion Voting System alleges that Fox News spread false information that harmed its reputation. The article also notes that the lawsuit is set to go to trial later this year. I got ChatGPT for us to summarize the article. That's what I did. So
Good,
right
good.
there.
Yeah. Basically, Fox News repeatedly peddled the false allegations about widespread voting fraud and so forth. And many people said, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. And their hosts repeatedly said, no, we're not, only for Rupert Murdoch to admit here and for again, records to be provided where people are explicitly saying, we do not believe any of this, but we need to continue spreading this so that we keep our viewership. And yeah, and then Dee's next comment, and this led to the January 6th insurrection. Yes, it did.
Yes.
So.
Oh yeah, and to answer the question, no, I do not think that this is. I mean, these people are very dogmatic. The only thing that it might do is make them shift from Fox News to other sources of conservative news.
Yeah, so great. Now they go to OANN. Like,
yeah,
great.
I mean, it might. I mean, it might make some of them think like, okay, we were wrong about this. But I think that my guess is that there are going to be few of them that think like that.
I'm hoping that because this comes so closely to the Alex Jones lawsuit regarding Sandy Hook finally being, that whole lawsuit finally ending and them holding him accountable for that, and it being such a large sum, even though he's probably never going to pay it. But hopefully this will also swing in that direction and will lead to more people really, really trying to make sure that their stuff is credible. But I'm not. That's me being a real optimist, man. Like, I am not convinced that that's what this is going to lead to. Like I said, Alex Jones got hit with that multi-million-dollar ruling, and then the very next day was back on his show. So, I don't know.
All right, next question. Why does Armin think Mr. Biden wasn't intentionally? Okay, I think you're saying why. I'm gonna have to fix this in my mind. Why does Armin think Mr. Biden wasn't intentionally involved in Iraq genocide, despite well-established fact that Biden has never challenged interest of military-industrial complex? He went out of his way to promote their lies, including WMD theories, even before Bush was in picture. Okay, because I didn't say I don't think. I said you can't prove intent because you're talking about intentions. Okay, so the question is, why do I think Biden was not intentional? What I'm saying is that you could prove that somebody was wrong, but you don't have enough evidence to show what their intentions were. Because the reason why I don't say that is because I can't read minds. That's why. He went out of his way to promote their lies, including WMD. Yeah, but the thing is that their lies, you don't know that he was knowingly promoting a lie,
right,
or he was lied to by other people,
right,
and then he was just spreading the information that he thought was correct, but was a lie. So we don't know. That's what we don't know.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lie, it doesn't mean that he was lying. Maybe he was spreading wrong information that he assumed were correct. I don't know. How do you know?
That really is the way that we should always try to engage with, difficult discussions like this. We should always assume that, the best of intentions that we can until given reason, to see otherwise. All that being said, I would also, Biden definitely did eventually vote for the war because the war originally was not started through an act of Congress, because no war since the Korean War has that been the case. It's always been an executive order that Congress then later comes in and confirms. He was wrong on that. I'm not defending his position on that. And I don't ever remember you ever like explicitly coming out and just being like, Biden is definitely not responsible for Iraq. But,
no, I blamed him for it. I didn't know. I didn't know.
We just
don't know what his. I just don't know what his intentions were. Maybe like, yes, let's make those Iraqi children suffer. Ooh, I like that. I don't know if it was that or it was like, this is obviously going to make the world a better place, and they're like, oh my god, I was wrong. I don't know which one of these two are.
It's like Richard Nixon. You want to make the claim like he did all this stuff for malicious intent? It's like we literally have records of him talking about his malicious intent. So that's a totally different story. But like this, like, come on,
Yeah. But. So Oxymoron say he didn't reveal if he was lied to. Yeah, I mean that there's a million different explanations about why he didn't reveal it. Not many of them are not good. Maybe he doesn't like admitting, but but yeah, oxymoron, I admit one of those reasons might be that he was intentionally lying. I don't know. I'm not in the guy's mind. I don't live in his mind.
Right.
So yeah, but okay. Also, GJ is complaining about YouTube, saying YouTube does refuse me to send certain comments as super chat, but does not warn me against comments that will be hidden from some viewers. Yeah, I know YouTube's
It do be like that.
they don't communicate very well with people about how they do things. So yeah, I mean, you find it frustrating. Imagine what it's like to be a content creator. We get our videos flagged and strikes and demonetized, and we're like, why? But why, YouTube? Why? And we get no explanation. So yeah, it's even more frustrating for us as creators. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Oxymoron is saying the whole WMD theory was connected by the military-industrial complex for invasion. I mean, even if that's true, again, that actually might provide more context for why Biden didn't know. Maybe the military-industrial complex lied to Biden, and Biden believed it, and maybe he thought he's being honest. I don't know. We don't know, guys. There's so many things that you can't just assume it's happening. I mean, maybe you know more. You have more information than us, than I do. But
yeah.
All right, let's go to the next question. When does etiquette, covering your mouth with your hand when you burp, become oppressive? Bowing deeper to your social superiors versus inferiors in a society. So I'm assuming this was by Asian American because we don't bow down to our superiors in normal countries. Is that should I not say that? Wait, hold on. Who was this? Was this?
I think it was Asian.
No, yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, it was Asian American.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's when the imposition is to such a degree that the benefit of doing so is outweighed, right? Like, I think, for instance, like this one specifically is covering your hand with your mouth, or covering your mouth with your hand when you burp, right? Let's just change it to sneezing, just because that's a little bit easier for me. I think like there are obvious benefits to why you shouldn't just want to openly sneeze into somebody's face, right? Like there are obvious reasons. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's probably a really good etiquette we should try to keep around, but then when it comes to like trying to bow lower repeatedly than somebody who's higher in a position of authority in a business or your ancestor or something like that, I don't understand what the benefit of that is to society, other than just showing that people are kind of flexible. Like,
flexible because they could bend.
They can bend. They can bend all. You can bend real low. You see what I'm saying? Like you get like I don't know that that's a super valuable thing for us. Like we can all put our legs behind our head, but it's like but have we stopped poverty or anything?
Yeah, the whole idea is my head is below your head.
So that's right.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? When is it too much?
I think it's too much when it doesn't, like when you cover your mouth when you're burping, is because it might be, I don't know, stinky, and you don't want people to suffer, right? But when you're bowing, it doesn't. I'm not getting any benefits from that, so it's just the waste of. I think etiquette should be based on utility. So it makes sense for you to cover your mouth when you're burping because you're reducing harm to the people around you, which is your stinky mouth, right? So that kind of etiquette, if it's etiquette based on reducing suffering to people around you, I say keep that. But if it's etiquette based on like nothing, like I get nothing out of you bowing, so I think those should be removed. That's what I think.
I agree. I also think just it popped into my head when you said a stinky mouth. It just came to my mind. It was just you got a nasty mouth. Your mouth is nasty, and it is, folks. People's mouths are actually kind of gross, but
Well, not mine. I brush like 3 times a day, and I use mouthwash in between. So
okay, all right. Are you flossing? Or, I'm just kidding. I don't care. Yeah.
I have flosses right next to me all the
just right
time.
here. Wow, guys,
Oh,
Armin
yeah.
is prepared. I mean, just in case. Just you never know. In the middle of a stream, gotta really get something out of it.
I have two different kinds of flossing, because one of them. Yeah, anyways, I'm getting into too much detail. But Oxymoron is adding that the whole bowing thing, because I think I insulted the entire East Asia, and Asian American is saying they do that in Japan. We don't do it in China. Communism liberated us from such feudal nonsense. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's good.
Gosh.
Well. Armin is ready for kisses. Apparently, I am ready for kisses.
Armin is always ready. So send your super chats and your kisses, folks.
All right, let's go to the next question. Thoughts on Volkswagen, the people's car, also Hitler's car. Thoughts on Volkswagen refusing to track a missing car unless the $150 per month geolocation subscription was renewed.
What? This was related to like a potential child abduction or something, I think. Like there was an article with it. See, because I think
there's an article with it. Okay,
I think it has to do with something along the lines of like this car was potentially being used in a kidnapping or something.
Yeah, let's figure out what this is. Volkswagen's car tracking firm demanded $150 to renew expired subscription to help police locate stolen car with abducted boy inside. Wow. Okay, maybe this is like a technical thing. Maybe they were like, we literally can't, like, we're trying, but the system is not doing the thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
I'm trying to be charitable here. Like, guys, we want to help the boy, but like, wait, you could have paid the $150 yourself. Let me summarize the article.
Let me see if there's.
Oh, I can't.
There's got to be an explanation, right?
Okay, so I can't access the article, but ChatGPT is summarizing it for me anyways. ChatGPT is amazing. Like, this thing is behind the paywall, but I don't know how ChatGPT is getting behind the paywall. So ChatGPT is saying the article reports that a family in the US had a scare when their car was stolen with their child still inside. The family had subscribed to Volkswagen CarNet service, which includes a feature that tracks the car's location and sends alerts if it moves beyond a designated area. However, the family subscription had expired and they were not notified that the feature had been deactivated. The car was eventually found and the child was unharmed, but the incident has raised questions about the effectiveness of such services and the responsibility of car manufacturers to ensure that they are working properly. Volkswagen has apologized for the incident and says it's investigating the matter. I mean, I'm not going to blame Volkswagen here because I don't think what are they supposed to do? Like, they don't know that you have a situation. Like, it doesn't say that they contacted them and they were like, we need to save our boy. I'm like, nope, $150 first. It just says that they just noticed that they don't have the subscription. So should Volkswagen just keep all subscriptions running just in case your boy gets kidnapped? I think that's unfair to demand.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. And there's a statement from Volkswagen that says, we have a procedure in place with a third-party provider for CarNet support services involving emergency requests from law enforcement. They have executed this process successfully in previous incidents. Unfortunately, in this instance, there was a serious breach of the process. And I think I agree with you in the sense of we shouldn't require Volkswagen now to just keep this stuff running all the time.
That makes sense.
But they should have a process in place where they can turn it back on very quickly to help law enforcement, and then turn it right back off, And again, it kind of seems like there is at least some kind of policy like this, and they didn't exactly do it this time. So it may not be as egregious of a thing as as the headline seems to indicate. It could just be, this is an incident where we need to make sure that these types of things don't happen ever again and again. They already have a policy in place for working with police, it seems. But yeah, it's still very, uncomfortable, right? Like, that's super uncomfortable. That, they would be like, yeah, give us $150, then we'll help you track your little baby boy. Like,
Yeah. See, this is what you come here for, because it's easy to just be like, oh, big company, big giant company going evil. People like that stuff. Yeah, evil company, right? But like, we looked into it, and we don't know if we're sure about it. This is Volkswagen's problem, So
right.
So
Right.
Yeah, we got a super chat. I don't know what this is. Chinese Rujia culture or Islam? Which one do you prefer? I mean, I don't know what this Rujia is, but I could read about it. But without checking first, I could say that I would prefer Rujia. It's because Islam doesn't.
Just because
Islam,
that's how low it is with Islam.
Because that's how bad Islam is. Before checking, I'm gonna go with Rujia.
I don't even know what this other thing is.
Oh yeah, I know what the other thing is. We had this. We actually had a video about this with Gage American. Rujia is Confucianism. So
Okay.
yeah, So
Confucianism still has some crappy parts, but better, I think, than Islam.
It's much by far a lot better. I mean, Confucianism, like, the worst things you could say about it is that it has family structures that are not flexible.
Yeah.
It gives too much way into authority, right? And it has a conservative structure. It's not very flexible, so you could say, that's what I could say about it.
Yeah.
So,
it's got
but that has its problems.
There's some sexist. There's some other issues in Islam that might override those.
Yeah. Islam, Islam has a few more problems.
Just
one or two more problems than Confucianism. So yeah. Yeah. But thank you again for the super chat. And speaking of super chat, we got another super chat from No Man, saying love you all. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you, Norman. We love you too. Appreciate that. Okay, we have 5 more questions, right? Thoughts on? Oh no, I already. So we have 4 more questions. If I had a brain implant that connected me to the internet without the need of a phone, could cyber attacks be classified as physical assault? Assuming my brain produces the same measurable chemicals as a traditional form of physical assault. Yeah, I mean, it's harm is harm. Harm is harm. I would
would
say
definitely
so.
be an invasion of privacy. It would definitely be an erosion of right to privacy and stuff. So
yeah, I think it would be more than physical. It would be assault. It would be a violation of your privacy. It would be a hack. So it would be a lot more than it would be all of those combined. Yeah. So yeah,
so maybe becoming cyborgs will actually work out, y'all. Like, maybe it would be a good thing because there would be more criminal punishments for people, and I don't know.
I don't know if it would be considered physical assault. It would just be called assault, because physical doesn't mean that you're experiencing something that is physical.
That's a good point.
Physical means it's actually physical,
right? Like I'm the assault, right? Like somebody's hitting you with.
So if you had a dream that you were assaulted physically, when you wake up, you don't say, I was just physically assaulted. You would say, I had a dream that I was physically assaulted. Even though if the experience was pretty similar, that doesn't mean you were physically assaulted. So you would just so it's not physical assault.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Easy question. Next question. Thoughts on Greta Thunberg protesting wind farms in Sami lands?
Samis are they're an indigenous group.
Okay, this comes with an article. So let's bring
I haven't heard about this.
Share this tab instead, and let's bring it up. Thunberg indigenous protests blocked Norway energy ministry over wind farms. Why? Isn't wind farms good? Aren't
Oh,
wind
no,
farms
no.
good?
Scroll down. I think I understand now, because I think what it's saying is that Norway's plan is to put them on indigenous Sami lands, and that's why she's protesting it.
Oh, okay. So it's not the wind farms, it's like indigenous.
Right.
She's
Right. It's
pretty
related
active.
to indigenous rights. Yeah, because I knew that the Sami were herders in that area of the world. But yeah, it might be what they're saying is that the wind farms are planned on these traditionally indigenous lands for these peoples, and they're not wanting this. So it kind of sounds like the Black Rook Sioux stuff, if you remember that happening in the U.S. a few years ago.
Wait, there's audio comes with this one.
Yeah. Listen.
Hold on. Do you have? Let me put the audio. Yeah, 1 second.
We got it.
T'inquiète. All right, let me actually read what's happening here. Climate activist Greta Thunberg and other... Hold on, let me actually play it while this is happening. Greta Thunberg and other protesters have blocked the entrance to Norway's energy ministry in Oslo to protest against the development of wind farms in the country. The activists are concerned about the impact of the wind farms on local wildlife and the potential loss of biodiversity. They are calling for a moratorium on further development until a comprehensive environmental impact assessment has been conducted. The Norwegian government has defended the development of wind power as part of its efforts to transition to more sustainable energy system and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. I think they must be pretty annoyed, like, Greta, this is green energy. Like, this is what you want. What do you want from us? Like, what do we do? We can't satisfy you people. Also, you're burning something. You're burning stuff. We're trying to reduce carbon dioxide, and you are increasing it in your protest. But yeah, go on.
Well, I was just no, because I like that. I do think it's funny. But because I was trying to look further, and I went to a couple of different articles, and Norway's Supreme Court in 2021 ruled that the 2 wind farms built in this area violated the Sami rights under international conventions, but there are turbines still there in operation over 16 months later. So it sounds like yeah, this is something that the Norwegian court has already settled. Like, these are not allowed. These are not okay, and they should not be there. You know, all for green energy and stuff, but we can't do it at the cost of, you know, stripping rights of people, especially indigenous groups. Like,
yeah. Okay, so we just got a super chat by GJ. Thank you so much for the 11 euro super chat, saying direct link to the famous scene from the Surrealist Louis Buñuel's film. Okay, so the problem is that I can't actually click on this link. Maybe I could search for it on YouTube, see if it shows up.
You should be able to copy and paste it, I think. Let me see.
No, it's not letting me. So, famous scene from Louis. Wait, what is the movie called? Oh, Phantom of Liberty. So it says that they literally throw out Christian symbols. I'm trying to imagine what that looks like. Are they like literally like throwing Jesus Christ out the window or something? Because I want to see.
I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing like too.
Yeah, because we don't want to get
ridiculous.
flagged.
It's also like a 5-minute clip, but
oh, it's a 5-minute clip.
Yeah, but you see them all literally sitting at like a dinner table, but instead of chairs, it's toilet seats.
Oh, I don't know if I could show that.
It doesn't show any like, you know, nudity or anything graphic, but yeah, so they're definitely all there sitting on toilets. See, little toilet seats. Yeah,
little toilet seats.
Elisabeth, là, vos professeurs à ma droite.
Okay.
Charles, c'est ça, tu te mets entre Madame Calmette et Elisabeth. Et toi, Sophie, viens mon trésor, viens ma petite aussi, tiens. à gauche, viens. Mais asseyez-vous, je vous en prie.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to show the rest because I might get flagged. So I'm not going to show the rest. But that seems pretty interesting. Yeah, really cool. But where's the Christian elements? I don't see any Christian.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in that clip where they were literally like throwing something Christian out the window. Although it's possible that I just missed it. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Noman is
But it's
saying,
very
I am
nice.
confused. I think it's meant to do that. I think, Noman, that's the whole point. I think if
Yeah.
you're confused, I think that's what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah,
So there's-
yeah. If you watch surrealist movies or interpretations of things, and at the end of it you think that all made sense, you probably missed some stuff. So,
Yeah. It's supposed to make you feel weird
Yeah.
things. Yeah. All right. 2 more questions. Armin, as a supporter of anti-caste discrimination laws in the U.S., why do you think people who talk against, I think you mean, against love jihad laws aren't self-reporting? Can you help celebrate? Oh, what? Celebrate?
the word is cerebrate, but I'm sure
Cerebrate.
that that's not the right word, because that has something to do with like the brain and like think about stuff. I'm sure clarify or something along
Yeah, let's
those
go with
lines.
clarify.
Yeah,
Can you help
yeah.
clarify why should one policy be supported and not the other? I don't understand this question. Do you understand this question?
Not really. It kind of sounds like they're trying to it kind of sounds like they're trying to make a connection between anti-caste discrimination laws in the US and love jihad laws in like India, Pakistan area. And I don't exactly
understand.
see the connection. I
don't
can
understand the
easily explain why one should be supported and one shouldn't, right? Because one of the laws, the anti-caste discrimination, is specifically trying to make sure that we're not discriminating and applying the law differently to people just based on their ethnicity or history or something, right? Whereas the love jihad laws are doing that, right? I mean, I see that. I don't know if you're on the same page, but it's like they're on the opposite end of the spectrum. That's why one.
Oh, okay. So he's saying
Right?
we're being inconsistent. Like if we support the anti-discrimination laws in the U.S., we should also be supporting the love jihad laws.
Yeah, I don't see that. That's what I'm guessing, but I don't see
yeah.
that. I don't understand that connection.
One of them is based on reality and actual oppression of people, and the other one is based on nonsensical conspiracy theories, and that's the difference.
And you're not, and by saying that you're not in support of love jihad laws, you're not actively saying I'm trying to convert somebody from their religion to my religion forcefully by marrying them. You know.
So. Yeah, look, I didn't have the name of the patron here on who asked this question, and people can tell. Look how many. It's oxymoron. I'd be like, Prometheus, is this oxymoron? And Susanna is like, definitely oxymoron. And yes, you are correct. This was oxymoron. I'm glad. It's amazing how people can tell who the question is from.
I like that. We have a tight-knit community. That shows us.
People know each other here. I like that. People are familiar. Okay, last question before we before I read this last question, let me post a link for people to be able to come up if they want to talk to us live on air. Hold on, I should have had this ready. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Do you want to read the question while I get the...
It's a fun question. It's a little strange, but that's our Gaysian American. So the question says, in Hogwarts Legacy, a goblin horn, I think it's legend. In Hogwarts Legend, I'm guessing that's what he meant. But anyway, a goblin horn has a piece of cheese stuffed in it. Many descendants of Abraham claim the goblin horn is way too close to the shofar, which is that nice little big, ram's horn, I think. They also claim the plot of goblins stealing wizard children mirrors too closely to real-life anti-Semitic propaganda of being accused of stealing children. On a scale of 1 to 10, how legitimate do you find their complaints?
So the reason why Gajan is saying the descendants of Abraham is because he's helping us not get flagged on YouTube.
Right.
because we're talking about JEW people, okay? And I think like this. I mean, I think it's fine to say it. I think okay. I don't think YouTube is that sensitive because I've seen.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah. This is like and it's an anti-Semitic accusation. They're accusing Hogwarts Legacy and the whole the Harry Potter universe of being anti-Semitic because goblins are stereotypically look like what anti-Semitic people depict Jewish people to look like, right? Um, and it's not just the way they look; it's also the fact that they're bankers in Harry Potter, and they're greedy, and they are not. They seem to be not to be trusted. Inherently, they have a issue, right? So people are like, this is just too. There's too much. There's too many dots that being. There's too many similarities with anti-Semitic tropes against Jewish people that also it didn't help that in the movie in Harry Potter the bank has a Star of David right in the middle of the floor. That was like that was not that was like let me actually get the picture of that for people to know what I'm
There's
talking
definitely a couple of things that I fully believe an individual trying their hardest to make sure they are not perpetuating anti-Semitic tropes would stay away from. And this series chose not to. So, yeah, I mean, it's all, again, folks, it's always a really good idea when creating a new story or a movie series or a TV show or something to at least have one moment in the whole process before you put it out where you just go, are we being racist? Like, are we being racist with this, you guys? Like, is this part of the movie racist? Like, is this bad? Is this anti-Semitic? It's a good idea to go
about. But
through that.
Has it been on? Was it been on purpose? Do you think it was on purpose?
I put it this way. I think it is less likely that the intention was explicit. We want to perpetuate these tropes, right? And more likely that the motivation was we aren't particularly concerned if we spread these tropes accidentally. Right? It's like I don't think that they were intentionally trying to create the characters and the backstory as being specifically focused on that, right, in a negative light. But I would also argue they didn't really do that much to stay away from it, because as you're showing right there, that like they built that. They had to. That's a set. That's it, right?
Well, I mean,
so, like,
they didn't build this. This was a building that had the star there to begin with.
Okay,
right?
but then they chose that building.
More recently built.
Right?
Oh wait, you're right. This is a okay.
Like, so,
but look, but I mean, even if this was there, they could have just covered it or something. I don't know. So
right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying is like. It especially when you're doing something like this, like it's not as if the budget for these movies was like shoestring or anything. They absolutely had the ability to do stuff, to change.
Maybe they didn't notice. Yeah, so the guys, look, this is on the left, the stereotype of how caricature of what Jewish people are shown, and like this is like goblins in Harry Potter, and you can see like the being bankers and having all that greedy money stuff. Like that's what they are. I mean, that's what the anti-Semitic stereotypes are. So it's just like there's too many things. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, if it's not on purpose, it's just so inconvenient. Like it's just like so bad.
And I would say when we get to more of this stuff, I would say the legitimacy goes up, in my opinion. When it comes to the goblin horn has a piece of cheese and shofar and stuff, I'm gonna go on the side that probably not so much legitimacy there. But when we come to these other things that we've just pointed out, again, I'm not saying 10 out of 10 definitely they were going for these anti-Semitic tropes, but it seems like they really didn't even do the bare minimum to like stay away from them, right? Like
Right.
they really didn't even try that hard. Like, somebody had to have looked at those shots repeatedly for hours and hours and hours on end editing, right? So and they did the shots multiple times. It's not like they just set the camera up and then everybody hits their lines perfectly. They do one 10-minute scene for 3 freaking days of shooting. So yeah, they definitely could have very easily done very small things that would have made a pretty big impact, in my opinion. So it's like,
So this is what we're seeing on the screen, is something in the game that people noticed as well, right? So you have this goblin, this horn, right? So goblin artifact. This was part of the game. Horns like this, and it says in the game, horns like this were used by goblins during the 1612 Goblin Rebellion to rally troops and generally annoy witches and wizards. This horn was discovered in the aftermath of the rebellion behind the hog's head in with a wedge of gore. I don't know what that is. Stuff inside.
Gorgonzola.
Yeah.
It's a type of cheese.
Oh, okay. So what they're saying is that this is very similar to the Jewish shofar. Is that how you say it?
Yeah. And
Yeah, so-
my thoughts on this just initially are, this is a common thing that has been a battle cry and so forth. So it's not as if like the Jewish people are the only people that have, ram's horns or anything that they use to signal stuff. They have a very specific thing that is in their
I know, but
culture,
that's what the main people who are known for it, right? So
Yeah,
right now
okay,
in this
I
day
guess
and age, I
that's
mean,
fair.
who does
That's fair.
who does that today other than Jewish people?
My buddy George every Thursday at 6 p.m. He's a great. Just kidding. Obviously, I'm teasing, but
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if okay, so I don't want us to be conspiracy theorists here. This could all be just coincidences. I mean, the Harry Potter world is a huge world,
True.
so things could happen that people didn't intend. So it's either intentional, which is weird if it's intentional. Like, why? Why
Yes.
would you do that? Why would you
Yes.
destroy a franchise? Like, you are making a lot of money. Why would you want to
Yeah.
ruin that? Right?
Yeah.
Like think about the conspiracy. Like, it's, I know there's so many things here that you're like, okay, what's happening here? But at the same time, like, why? Like, is J.K. Rowling is like, oh yeah, ha ha ha. They will not, like, let me just put some anti-Jewish. Oh, actually, this is the theory. This is the more reasonable theory. The reasonable theory is that they're not on purpose being anti-Semitic. It's just that anti-Semitic stereotype is so ingrained in our culture that it's just part of our, like, that we are using them without knowing that these are anti-Jewish stereotypes.
Yeah.
That's
I think that's probably the more reasonable, fair-minded interpretation. With that being said, though, again, brave stance on both of us, but we're still not for it. Like, we're still in the boat of saying, yeah, we should make sure that we're not perpetuating these anti-Semitic stereotypes and tropes and stuff. But yeah, I think that's probably more of the case, that everybody knew that that was the Star of David on the ground, but nobody gave a crap enough to just go, hey guys, maybe this is a little racist what we're doing, right? Still not good, still bad, still shouldn't be that way, but probably more reasonable than specifically Warner
The
Brothers.
best you could say is that they were not aware of what this could look like, which also is problematic, the fact that you weren't aware of it.
Right. Yeah, agreed.
Okay. GJ just gave us another 11 euro super chat. Thank you so much, GJ. You're being very generous today. So GJ is saying, oh, it's again about that movie. Okay, cool.
Really likes this movie.
Really likes this movie. You're going to make me go watch that movie?
Yeah, I will watch it. I will watch it.
GJ is saying the film Phantom of Liberty has an 88% / 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, touching briefly on subjects such as execution. Oh, I'm not going to read that other one.
You could probably skip those both two in the middle just in case for the censors.
Pedophilia, INCEST, and sex via an array of characters. Wow, that movie had
All of
this
that.
much in what, in 1974?
Yeah.
How were they not crucified?
Honestly, some of the movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s were extremely subversive. They push the boundaries in a huge way, you know, and it's amazing to see, you know, how
Well, I
there's
don't want
such an
this.
intense
I
backlash
mean,
and
what
stuff.
some of
Oh,
these
no.
things I do not. Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
promoting them. No. I'm not saying they're
Yeah.
good things. No. I'm not. Honestly, of all four of those things listed, I'm only a fan of the last one. Funny enough, I'm only a fan of the sex part. The rest of them, not a fan. But
I like how people are suggesting code words for us in the live chat. People are so helpful here. So Gagin American is saying Tigerian loving, right? And another recommendation is PDF file.
Oh, that's good
PDF
too.
file.
I'm
Yeah.
actually happy with both of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that era definitely had a lot of it's a miracle. That era definitely had a lot of various individuals that were involved in
Right.
you know, pushing boundaries in a lot of different ways and stuff. You know, when you look back at some of the stuff that like John Waters did, or what am I thinking of right now? Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know. There's a lot of movies from that American Graffiti even had some stuff in it too. So
Yeah.
it's just weird watching the kind of the culture and the media and stuff shift like that. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm definitely watching this movie now. You got me. You had me at pooping together. So
No. Okay.
I just wanted to see your face again.
What does it say that I have a worse reaction to that compared to the other things that were mentioned in this list?
It says you're a shy pooper. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You like your private time.
Stop saying that. Oh yeah.
It really makes me happy. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Okay, guys. So no member came up today, but so it's good because we are overtime, anyways.
True.
But just to let you know, if you are a YouTube member, you are able to come talk to us directly, to me and Secular Rarity. If you're a YouTube member, I posted the link on the community tab. Nobody took advantage of it today, so I'm gonna delete it now before anybody changes their mind, so we can go.
Yeah, can't come up anymore. It's done.
No, that I
it.
deleted it. You missed the chance. You missed the chance. But again, if you're a YouTube member, at the end of the show, I post a link to members only on the community tab. And if you're a YouTube member, you can click on it and come talk to us live on air. Yeah. Wow, more about putting together, right? You guys are really.
I saw the live chat.
The romance.
I think that's a great note to end on. Honestly, you know,
yeah. People are very okay. Sure, you guys are. You could keep talking about that by yourselves now.
That's right. Go to the Atheist Republic Discord and tell us whether or not you would be interested in pooping communally with us. No, please don't do that. That's probably a bad suggestion. Please don't do that, folks.
A good suggestion is to like this video, like the stream, subscribe. Oh, what happened to me? And also leave a comment. And if you want to support us financially, you could use PayPal, link in the description. You could become a patron, link in the description. You could become a YouTube member. There's a button next to the subscribe, the join button. You can use that to support us financially. But again, don't support us financially if you're struggling financially. You could support us for free if you just like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Also, subscribe to our newsletter for our free, gorgeous, beautiful, sexy, blasphemous art that we send you for free every week. And my book is also, you get my book for free as well if you subscribe to our newsletter. Link to all of that is in the description.
News coming up. You got Secular Jihadists before that. I think that's about it. I think we said all the stuff. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you to all the people who gave us super chat, including Newman, Lilypad, GJ. Yes, thank you so much, Lilypad and GJ and Norman and somebody else. Alex, I think, was also
Austin.
Yeah, okay.
Are they?
Whatever.
Whatever.
Thank you, guys. We actually do need it, so thank you for that. All right, guys. Talk to you guys next week, and talk to you guys in 2 days, I think, or 2 or 3 days. Check
3 days? Yeah.
3 days. With Susanna, we're gonna be covering the news, so look up for that. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you get notified when you're about to go live. All right, guys. Bye. Mwah.